Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm the High Pop Professor. And I wanted to start a quick video today as a VR for John Mangini. Congratulations, our brand new hobby president. And he asked us to make a VR talking about what we would do to improve the hobby. And so this is my VR doing that. First of all, you may notice that there's a slightly different background here for where I usually shoot videos, and that, yes, I am returning from my 1 month long hiatus from YouTube. We have moved into a new place. We are here, different area of Philly, but still same general region. But looking forward to getting back into making content. And so now let's get in with this thing. So our president, John Mangini, asked us to think about ways that we could improve the hobby. And now there are a couple different ways that this could be interpreted. And I wasn't clear exactly which way he intended it to be. Is this something that we all can do individually? Is this something that if we had an all-powerful magic wand that we could wave and all of a sudden this thing would happen in the hobby? Is that what he meant? Or I don't know, or as the president, is there something with the presidential powers that we should do? So I came up with three things. And so the first thing I came up with is that to improve the hobby, and this isn't, this isn't anything too surprising or shocking, but, people have really great hobby experiences. People also sometimes have really awful, terrible hobby experiences. And the first thing I would try to encourage that everyone can do is let's try to encourage ourselves to get more of the positive hobby experiences and fewer of those negative experiences. And so part of what I mean by fewer of the negative experiences, I feel like a lot of the negative experiences that happen, there's scamming that happens. 19 out of the 20 people that join breaks end up walking away with, not much to show for it. I would just try to avoid, protect yourself when you're making transactions online, buying through platforms, using payment services like PayPal Goods and Services, ensuring your packages so that if and when something happens, you're covered. This is the kind of thing. Protect yourself, because those are out there, and that's a really negative experience to have something get lost in the mail, or someone steals your package or whatever it might be. Yeah, put yourself in a better position that you can avoid the negativity. And as far as encouraging more of the positivity, I would encourage you to, for me, I started a YouTube channel. You don't have to start a YouTube channel, but I would suggest, and I would recommend that people get more involved in the hobby. And it doesn't have to be start a YouTube channel. It could be, but it could be other things too. Look, it could be just going to more local shows. It could be talking to dealers. It could be attending a trade night. It could be joining joining Facebook groups that have, I have, there's one about rare 90s inserts, and I'm part of one that's about Diamond King autographs. Those are the kind of things I'm into, and so I join those groups. It's fun. I make comments. I like things, and it's generally a good time. And that can be a challenge, I think, for those of us like me who are introverts, who aren't naturally getting out there to socialize. I think establishing connections with other collectors, other dealers, other people in the hobby, other content creators, YouTubers, going to the YouTuber meetup event, going to the National this summer was an amazing part of the hobby. And I just find that my overall enjoyment of the hobby is greatly magnified by the connections that I'm making with other hobbyists. So that's my recommendation. First recommendation is to increase the positive aspects and the positive nature of the hobby, and maybe decrease some of the negativity, decrease some of the gambling that's out there in the hobby. And that's my first call to action. My second one is also going to be one that probably isn't going to be a big surprise to hear about many. But my second one, simply put, the innovation that happened during the 90s can't be overstated. And I think it's a shame that right now we are kind of in, it feels like sort of the same recycled, tired products coming out year after year. There's not much innovation. And so simply put, if I had my magic wand, my hobby wand, I would wave it and poof, I would instantly abolish the monopoly of one company, Fanatics, having all of the licenses. I would give all the licenses back. Because think about the 90s. Think about all the amazing things that were happening there. One company was innovating with refractor technology. At the same time, another company was innovating with Dufex technology. Another company was doing die cuts, bringing them back. Other ones were using laser cuts in their cards. We had cards made of wood, cards made of acetate, cards made of plastic. We had holofoil, etched foil. We had numbering, serial numberings, 1-of-1 masterpieces. We had, all this kind of stuff. Cards in cans. Come on. I'm not saying that all of it was, a good idea. Okay, Pinnacle, putting cards in cans, really. But what I am saying, though, is that, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I think that by having competition, I think competition drives innovation. And right now, we're not seeing competition. There is no Pinnacle. There is no Upper Deck making baseball product anyway. We don't have Fleer Skybox, Donruss, Score. We don't have Pacific. We don't have these amazing companies that were innovating with parallels and rainbows and all this stuff way back in the 90s. And I think to bring some of that innovation back, look, and I'm not saying we're devoid of all innovation. Look, I think that the debut patch 1-of-1 autos, that's a really great innovation. That's fantastic. And they should be, applauded for doing that. But I would like to see more. I would like to see more innovation. And the fact is, with more companies out there making products, we would see more innovation. So my second thing I would like to do to improve the hobby is to give these licenses back to these companies. Let the other companies do what they do. Let them make their cards. Let them make their designs. Take your hands off, stand back, and let them do their thing. Let them cook. Come on. That's my second thing. And the third and final one that I would go ahead and change from the hobby is going to require a bit more, maybe a bit more of a setup, but let's build up to this. So there are a couple things I was thinking about, and I really was thinking about this. And I think I have an unconventional solution to help out. I noticed, since the pandemic hit, in our hobby, we've had sort of an influx as soon as the boom happened around the COVID era. All these prices just went crazy. 2020, 2021, early part of 2022. And yeah, we're still seeing, prices are leveling off from what they were. Then I don't know if they're ever going to get that high again, or if they are, maybe not in the near future. But we had an influx. People were flooding into the hobby, which is great. A lot of the people that were coming into the hobby, though, were, let's face it, they were more investors. They were more flippers. They weren't really collectors. And it's okay to buy cards and want to make a profit. I'm not anti-capitalism, and I'm not anti, dealer. You can make a profit. That's fine. But it was clear, though, that the way that people were interacting with this stuff, it wasn't done out of a love of the cardboard. It was to try to make a quick buck. Let's be honest. And I think with the influx of these investors, I think that is partially what has caused sort of this disparity. I think a lot of investors are more drawn toward the very tippy top, highest grade, these PSA 10s. They tend to be more investment cards. And I know a lot of collectors are fine with, 7s or 8s or 9s. And hey, if you're a vintage collector, you're fine with 3s. 2s and 3s are amazing, great value, especially high eye appeal. And so it got me thinking about this disparity, this PSA 10 tax, the 10 premium for these gem mint cards. And I keep going back to thinking about, you take a look at a 9, you take a look at a 10, and oftentimes, unless you've got a jeweler's loop, and even if you have a jeweler's loop, you oftentimes can't tell the difference. PSA oftentimes can't tell the difference, by the way. I think I've cracked out 9s, sent them back in, and gotten 10s. So does it make sense that these 10s are commanding 3x, 5x, 10x, 100x of what their mint 9 counterparts are selling for? And yeah, I know 100x sounds like I'm blowing something out of proportion, except that you consider what a Beckett 9, Mint 9, Derek Jeter rookie, 93 SP, sells for, what, $800? What would a Beckett 10, pristine, black label 10 sell for Derek Jeter's rookie card? We all know it'd be over $100,000. That's over 100x. So it depends on the card. Or Ricky Henderson's rookie from 1980 Topps, similar. What a Mint 9 versus a Gem 10 would sell for, or black label, whatever. And so we're talking about this insane premium for what's almost a negligible difference in condition that really can't be seen very easily. And it's kind of doing weird things for the market. And, so I thought about for my third thing, like, well, maybe we should just somehow tinker with the market and lower the value of 10s to make them closer to 9s, close that gap a little bit. But that wouldn't be a long-term solution. I'm not all for tinkering markets, really. That doesn't work too well. If they were lowered, people would just buy more of them and the demand would go up, and pretty soon they'd be back to where they are. And then I thought, well, maybe, and is it even a problem that the 10s are worth that much more than the 9s? Well, I mean, maybe not. The problem is, though, with the 10s being that significantly valued more than the 9s, it creates a financial incentive for scammers in the hobby. It creates incentive for card cleaning, for trimming, for all this kind of stuff that you're going to try to artificially create these 10s where the 10s really wouldn't exist otherwise. And I think that's attractive to people who, again, are looking to make the quick buck. So, no, nothing inherently wrong with that. Heck, I send cards in to get graded, and I'm hoping for 10s too, but not for my collection. I'm looking to sell them to get more money to fund my PC and fund my collection. So, and by the way, I have a couple of grading reveals coming up, so keep looking out for that. So anyway, I thought about it and said, no. Instead of tinkering with the market, for my third and final choice of what I would do to improve the hobby, I thought of a more elegant solution. And this would anger some people, I know. But hear me out. I would propose that we abolish and get rid of the fake, invented grade tier of Gem Mint. Poof. Gone. What do you think? There is no Gem 10. There's no Gem Mint, because guess what? Gem Mint is a fake thing. It doesn't exist. It became invented. PSA invented the set registry, which was genius, by the way, to get people hooked on just PSA brand. But you know what? I remember walking around shows in the 90s. I remember seeing my first, PSA slabs, and they were all vintage cards at the time, which makes sense. I remember seeing the very first, though, Gem Mint 10. And I was confused because I saw Mint 9 cards next to it. And I'm thinking, and even then I knew it was BS. Like, come on, that's not a thing. That doesn't exist. And it wasn't just me. Look, here, I will show my work. Here's a Beckett, old Beckett magazine from '95 for Greg Maddox's 4th consecutive Cy Young Award and a world champion. Let's open up to the condition guide of the Beckett, which every Beckett had. How to use this price guide. Here it is. How to use and condition guide. And let's take a look at these conditions that we have here. And here we go. We had good, fair, poor. We had VG. We had EX. Excellent mint, near mint, mint, and the very top of the heap, mint. That's mint. And now mint cards, if they're older cards, pre-74, look at that. Mint cards get 125 to 150% of the book value. Great. Well, Well, where's the Gem Mint? It's not there. Where's the Gem Mint saying 10,000% of the value? Oh, they just made that up because it's never been a thing. It was never a thing in the 90s. I almost really refuse to believe it's still a thing now. I mentioned something similar to this in a comment on a different video I was watching and commenting on. And someone said, well, come on. Hi, Pop. There's still going to be cards out there. There are some Mint 9s that are better than others. And like, yeah, and guess what? I bet you I could find a PSA 5 that looks like a 3. And I bet you at a show I could find another PSA 5 that looks like a 7. It's called using your eyeballs. Yeah, it's called, looking at the card, using your eyeballs. And if your eyeballs can't discern between a 9 and a 10, well, let's take the 10 away from it. Now you have a mint card. 2 mint cards. Pick the one you like. Huh? Elegant solution, right? Think about it. Yeah, you use your eyeballs. You buy your mint cards. And yeah, you're right. The nicer of the mint cards might get a premium. But mint is mint. It's the top of the heap. Should be the top of the heap. I think by doing this, it would discourage the pure investor types from entering the market. I think it would discourage and lower the incentives that we have for scamming people. I think it would help give the true collectors of the hobby their ownership and their power back in this hobby, and they would let collectors be able to actually collect again. So there's my unconventional third and final thing about what I would do to improve the hobby. Thanks for watching.